In today's video, I'm going to be using the new object masking tool as well as some other keying techniques to put your object in front of graphics like this. As of this upload, the most recent full version of Premiere Pro is version 26.0. And in that version, actually, I don't even think it's called Premiere Pro anymore. I think they've dropped the Pro and it's just Adobe Premiere. It is gonna take me a while to get used to saying that. But in this version, the full version of Adobe Premiere, we have the object mask tool inside our toolbar. So if I click this, and this is the clip we're going to be working with, you can start getting some previewed selections of what it wants to select. So let's just say I want to select this, I click it, and it got most of the object, but I don't have the top of the hat. So make sure that you have Add to Object selected, and I click that, and we've added the top of the hat. So because I have the playhead in the middle of the clip, what I need to do is track this selection forward and backward at the same time. And they've given you an option to do that underneath the object mask in our effects controls. So if I click track select forward, it will select our object forward. And then it will go back to that previous point and then track select backward. So you don't have to start from the beginning or end. If you have a good frame to start with in the middle, you can do that. I do know from doing this before that there are some areas that it starts to have a little trouble. And let me see if I can pinpoint those. Oh, it did it right here. So it just had a little bit of discrepancy between the background and her sweatshirt because they're the same color, which is okay because it gives me a teaching point on after we've created our mask, you want to add back in some spots where it missed, and that's okay. So I have the lasso tool chosen right now. You could do the rectangle tool, and let's just see if we get lucky. I just clicked there and it added it in. Now, if I undid that, and let me go to the lasso tool. And another way that you could do this is lassoing around the area, and it will also pick up what it may have missed. The other options that you have here too are the mask overlay. So it's if you had a whole bunch of red and that was conflicting with the color that you're trying to mask out, you can change the color right here, as well as, let me find a different spot. So right here, let's say we didn't want her to have the phone in her hand when we mask this. So you could subtract from the object, and I'm just gonna do the rectangle tool, and it already knows that this is a different object. I click that. You could go in here and track select forward. If I didn't want her holding the phone, it did it, but I'm gonna undo that because I want the phone in this track selection. And I think we're ready to move on to the next steps. So to apply this to our track, I'm going to right click this and hit change to opacity mask. This will be the same as if I were to undo this, hit Command C and go to opacity and hit Command V. What I just did there was show you two different ways of changing this to an opacity mask. It's looking pretty good. I'm sure there's some spots where you could make it look even better, but for the sake of this tutorial, I think we're in a good spot. So at this point, I'm going to hold Option and drag this clip down to the bottom track to duplicate it. Now that we have two iterations of this, on this bottom one, I'm going to take our object mask and just delete it. So now we have two clips. We have the original and we have our masked clip. Now there are other elements that I added to this, and that's this circular graphic, this explosion graphic, and this circular transition. And the reason I chose these graphics is because it gives me an opportunity to also show you other ways to mask out or key out the elements that may be simpler than trying to use the object mask tool inside Premiere Pro. These would use old school ways of things like a Luma Key mask. So right here, we have this circular graphic. And before I do anything, I want to showcase that we did mask this subject, but I don't think it's very clean. Look at how jagged our edges are. And you could go to this object mask and feather it, right? But that might not be the best option because it still looks like a little jagged and it creates this like glow around the person. And I want something that's cleaner, not these jagged lines. And well, if we want to do that, we would go to our effects or Shift 7 to bring up our effects. And ironically enough, you look up something called roughen edges to make your edges cleaner. And if you try and apply this directly to the clip, it won't work. You won't get the outcome that you're looking for. So I'm going to delete this. And before I apply the roughen edges, I'm going to highlight this and I am going to nest it. Sure. And now if you apply roughen edges, watch. Whoa, we suddenly have smooth edges with roughen edges. And I don't want to get too far into the weeds with the different parameters that you have here. But you can start changing these to kind of suit what would look cleaner for your edit, because all of this is completely dependent upon what your mask looks like. But you can see here how it's smoothened out isn't a word, smoothed out my my edges there. That's just a tip for you, those of you that want to have smoother edges on your masks. So if I zoom out here, this is what we're working with. And I want our original background. Now I'm dealing with this circular clip, and this is a simple old school way of getting rid of the black background. Inside your effects, you just look up Luma, and it's a Luma key because we are looking at the Luma values and keying them out. Now I applied it and you're not going to see anything, but once I bring it over here, you can notice that we have gotten rid of the black. Now, if you take the threshold and do it the other way, now we get the black and the white is gone. Another thing that was in there was this explosion, and this utilizes the same technique. But the people that made this knew that you're downloading one clip from the stock website, and I got these from Adobe Stock. And maybe you don't know where that exact frame is, where it starts. So what I like to do, I cheat. I just right click and I do scene edit detection. And then I say apply a cut at detected cut point. Hit analyze, and it automatically created the cut for me where the clip changed. Now, whoever made this asset knows that you are supposed to stack this. So one is acting as the track mat key for the other. And I say that because we are going to use something called a track mat key in order to key this out. So I'm going to take these clips. I'm going to take the one that's this like Luma version, and I'm going to put it on top of the one that's the colored version. Now I'm going to take these two clips and move them up over here, like so. And now she's standing in front of this explosion, which is kind of cool. What we want to do is have this masked out. So I'm going to go to my bottom clip, the one that's in color. Now, instead of a Luma key, we are going to look up a track mat key. Drag that to our bottom color clip. And with our colored clip highlighted, I'm going to go to the effects controls. And right here is our track mat key. We need to assign what track it needs to look at. So I go to the mat, and that clip is on video 5. It will only reference clips that are above it. So I click video 5, and right now we're looking at mat alpha, but we want to do mat Luma, and voila. We now have the explosion behind her and the whole circular thing going on, right? Last one that I want to showcase is this one right here, where it's just a simple transition. This one could utilize a Luma key. So if we added the Luma key here, drop that on, it does exactly what we're looking to do. There is some transparency, which in this circumstance kind of looks cool, but you can mess around with the cutoff and whatnot. But there is another option now in the newer versions of Premiere Pro that I also want to showcase to you. So I'm going to delete this Luma key. I'm going to go to my window, extensions, and film impact dashboard. And here we have keying. And there's something called a logo cutout. And just from the graphic, you can see that it's doing what we want it to do here. So let's say we just want to get rid of the black. I'm going to hit apply on this logo cutout. And it's doing a all right job. until the very, like this spot right here, which is okay. Let's just take it out of fully animated and do manual. So now we have something like this, where she's dancing in front of all of this stuff. And at the end, we brought in the word dance. I mean, I don't really have to show you. Bring that underneath our layer right here. Dance. That is the basic elements of how I achieved that beginning clip. What I would suggest is at this point, start throwing some different animations on the clip. So if I did this, so watch what happens. Like she kind of like folds out from herself right here. That's like a little neat technique. The circle starts in front of her and then it folds out. And as she's going away, there's like this little flip effect where the word dance like goes right in front of her. That's kind of cool. And it's just by accident that I threw this flip onto the top clip. You could do this with a whole bunch of other stuff, and that's how I kind of ended up with the first example. At the beginning, I threw on a pop motion effect. That's what's happening on this clip in the background, and this is an RGB effect that I threw onto the circular thing. So if I take this off, it's really just the RGB and echo glow on the circular graphic. I did some coloring with the sparkly particle explosion. And then on the original clip, I threw a long shadow effect and just kind of animated it a little bit. So that's what you're seeing right here. In fact, if I change this to surprise me, it's just something different, you know? Same with the word dance. Again, I'm just using the text animator. I'm hitting surprise me and having all of this kind of like pop up and like pop out and having fun with the different elements that we have available to us now with the film impact transitions and effects, on top of utilizing them with the object mask tool. Some powerful, efficient stuff that we have available to us now as editors inside Premiere. Do I say Pro? Premiere Pro? If you found this helpful, my name's Javier Mercedes, and I hope you're out there living a life of abundance. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And I normally say that differently, but I'm just gonna leave it like that, you know, because yeah. All right.